Hi there, it's Debbie from celestialastrologyhealing.co.uk. I'm a Western whole sign consulting astrologer, and I'm really passionate about sharing personal birth charts with people, my clients. I really love astrology and how we can implement it in our daily lives and work with knowledge of the planets and how certain activities in the heavens can implicate what's happening in our personal lives. So I've studied modern astrology for many years, and most recently Hellenistic astrology. So I incorporate a mix of ancient knowledge and ancient timing techniques alongside some modern astrological knowledge. So please, if you're new to my channel, press the subscribe and like button. It doesn't cost you anything. You can always unsubscribe. Press the notifications button, which will let you know when I've released any more videos. And this helps my channel to grow, as I'm relatively new at doing this. I've only been doing YouTube videos for about a year now, and it is a passion of mine, but I prefer to work one-to-one with people. But this sharing the astrological cosmic weather is something that I'm doing to put myself out there to let more people know about me. I'm based in Scotland in the UK, and but with the internet, like, the world is a real small place, isn't it? And I've studied across with nightlight astrology in the States, as well as many other astrologers. So let's talk about this new moon in Capricorn tomorrow on the 11th of January 2024 at 11:56 Universal Time. I'd just like to share a screen to show the Capricornian goat, where the sun and the moon will be at 20 degrees Capricorn, 44 minutes. So when we look at this image of the Capricorn goat, Capricorn is a wild mountain goat, sometimes seen as a sea goat with a sort of finned tail, a bit like a mermaid. And Saturn is ruled in ancient astrology by the most distant planet that the ancient ones could see with the naked eye, Saturn, Kronos, Lord of Time. So before the development of telescopes, Saturn was seen to be the boundary planet, and the ancient ones didn't believe there was anything beyond that boundary that they could see. So Saturn represents, being the ruler of Capricorn, a sense of coldness, distance, isolation, hardship, in a cold, dark, distant place, relying on the self, things like that. Saturn is Kronos, Lord of Time, who rewards us with a mastery of our skills, persevering in the way that we can see goats on these craggy precipices where you think, oh God, how do they survive up there with so little, a little bit of scrubland. So there's hardship, but Capricorn is also an earth sign related to being grounded, to being practical, to being resourceful, enduring, and it's a cardinal sign of the zodiac. So one of the cross-quarter days of the tropical zodiac, Capricorn represents the winter solstice season when the sun moves into Capricorn. So at this time of this new moon, we have the sun and the moon both in Capricorn at 20 degrees 44 minutes. And every new moon cycle, it's a dark part of the moon. Actually, you don't see the crescent moon for about 2 or 3 days, and then you see a little sliver 2 or 3 days after the new moon. But nonetheless, at this dark time, we can plant seeds of intention to bring to fruition. And depending on the cycles, whether you work with a two weekly cycle that then culminates at full moon, which will be in Leo. What's the date of that? I have got it written down in my notes here. In 2 weeks' time, I haven't got it written down in my notes, but what I have got is the 6-month cycle, the culmination point of the new moon in Capricorn coming to fruition at full moon in Capricorn, which will be around about the summer solstice in the Northern Hemisphere on the 22nd of March 2024. And if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, that will obviously be your winter solstice. So there's 6 months to bring these new seeds of intention that you'd like to plant if you'd like to work with these new moon cycles and full moon cycles. So this is just a little bit of information. And here's another image here of the Capricornian goat on this craggy high mountain top. It takes ambition and persistence and endurance to get to the top of a mountaintop here, the craggy, earthy mountaintop. So it shows a sort of resilience and determination, all of these perseverance, ambition, trying, continuing, patient. These are all traits of Capricorn energy. So I just thought I'd start with images like that because it helps me get into my flow here and helps me visualize what I feel this Capricorn new moon can represent for all of us. And it depends, if you know your time of birth, then you would know your rising sign. Using whole sign house system is what I use now and have done for the last 4 years or so. And then you have your ascendant, and you can see where the signs of the zodiac go around the edges of the chart wheel and see where that Capricorn house is for you in your chart, because this will be the potential for new beginnings in the Capricornian area of your life in your personal natal chart. And if you have planets between, let's go back 3 degrees before and 3 degrees after 20 degrees, so it's 17 degrees and 23 degrees of any of the cardinal signs, that would be Aries, Cancer, Libra and Capricorn, then you may feel this new moon much stronger in your life, because these will be giving the angles of either conjunction, square, which is like overcoming obstacles, and opposition, finding balance within your life. So these cardinal points will be quite significant. So in this video, I'm going to give very short interpretations for the different rising signs of where this Capricorn energy, new moon energy, will be at work in your life. So let's just start with looking at what other cosmic planetary weather's going on in the heavens at this time. I get my annotate tool, and then I can do an arrow. Bear with me, this always takes a while. Oh, I haven't done this, they've changed the layout. So let's see. This is my first video that I've done for a month because I was ill over the festive season. So thank you for bearing with me. So we've got the nodes of the moon at 20 degrees going across the Aries Libra axis, and that would be in a T-square to the sun and the moon. So this is quite a dynamic energy going on. T-squares, there's opposition. The nodes of the moon are always in opposition to each other, and they're always retrograde. However, when there's a square, there's some sort of dynamism, something that gives us sort of this impetus, especially because these are all placements in a cardinal sign. So cardinal signs of the zodiac have got the modality of wanting to make new change, wanting to start things, initiate some new ideas, new plans. So this T-square with the lunar nodes, Rahu, the north node of the moon in Aries at 15 degrees. Is that 15 degree? Wait a minute, this isn't actually, bear with me here. I'll just take off this annotate tool. Yeah, so as I was saying, the lunar nodes, Rahu is at 20 degrees Aries, 19 minutes retrograde, and Ketu, Rahu's about striving for, trying to achieve in some sort of sense of success. It's the north node of the moon, it's the lunar node, it's the head of the dragon, insatiable to achieve and absorb and take it in. It's a severed head. And Ketu is the severed body of the dragon, which is more about releasing and letting go and surrendering and having more interest in spiritual topics, things like that. So this is a T-square with the lunar nodes and other things that are going on. We have got a stellium. I'm going to try to use this annotate tool again, which is a little bit frightening because they've changed out how to use it. I'm just going to have to use an arrow, I think. Oh, wait a minute, here's a circle. Here we go. Oh, look at me, I'm great at doing it now. Blowing my own trumpet here. So we have a stellium of planets in Capricorn. We've got the sun and the moon at 20 degrees, 44 minutes. We have Mars at 5 degrees, Capricorn, 7 minutes. The midheaven changes every couple of hours. and also Pluto at 29 degrees, 41 minutes, right at the end of Capricorn. So that is quite a dynamic force of big changes with this Plutonian energy about to shift into Aquarius again. I think it's on the 21st of January. And Pluto did dip his toe into Aquarius last March until the 11th of June, around the 23rd of March to the 11th of June. If you can think back, if you're good with your memory, any significant big shifts or changes or ideas that surface for you in your life, you're likely to feel these energies again when Pluto moves into Aquarius on the 21st of January, where he'll stay until September the 2nd, I believe. Then he reverses back, retrogrades back into Capricorn until, I think it's the 19th of November, after which 20th of November 2024, Pluto will stay in this Aquarian house for 19 years till 2044. So that is a massive shift. And so he's tying up ends in this Capricorn house. This is shown for Taurus ascendant, but it will depend on your ascendant to which area of life this will be affecting. This is the 9th house of Taurus ascendants. And going back to Mars, Mars is exalted in Capricorn. Mars, the warrior planet, the planet that is about how we apply ourselves, how we use our energy, how we assert ourselves, how we express ourselves and act, use our actual physical way of doing things and action. So when Mars is in Capricorn, it's exalted, he's exalted, and he's able to use that fiery, passionate, initiating, bold, courageous energy harnessed down into that sort of Saturnian ruled Capricorn nature of more like planning, using skills, being more cautious, and initiating some long-term plans. So that's what's in the heavens that I'm focusing on as I go through the different signs of the zodiac. So if you bear with me, I will stop this share and I will bring up Aries, and we'll go through the zodiac for some brief interpretations of how this new moon might be at work in your life. So hi there, Aries. As we can see, this new moon is at work in Capricorn in your 10th house, which is a very public, dynamic house. It's an angle of the chart. It's one of the kentrons. The 1st house, 7th house, 4th house and 10th house are all very visible angles of the chart, while the 10th house is the most visible because it's in the public sphere. So this new moon in Capricorn, for you, Aries ascendants, and if you don't know your time of birth, you can look into your sun or your moon sign. This is going to be initiating some big changes in how you show up in the world, stepping into your own sense of belief and using your own abilities, and maybe relying less on partners. Pluto at the end of this Capricornian house is tying up ends, and there's likely to be some really big shifts in your public sphere of life. If you work, this could be related to your career and your occupation, and the power that you would like to move forward with. And it could be a big shift in changes, endings, death of old ways of doing things that you're seen to do publicly, and your reputation here before Pluto moves into your 11th house of groups and tribe, and will initiate big shifts there for you over the next 19 years. So this T-square is happening with Ketu in the 7th house of Libra. So there's a sense of release there, letting go, maybe not doing things so much in that sense of relying on your partner if you're in a partnership. And Rahu is in your 1st house, the north node of the moon. And so is Chiron, actually, the wounds that we carry related to a sense of self-belief. So Rahu is in your 1st house with the T-square from the new moon in Capricorn, suggesting walking more in your own power. And Jupiter and Uranus are in your 2nd house, which is related to opportunities around making money, creating financial security in the future. Jupiter has been here since May 2023 and will be here till, I believe, the 25th of May 2024. And Uranus is in here creating unexpected, destabilizing events sometimes in this relation to your own skills and resources. So I hope that's helpful for you, Aries ascendant. Now I'm going to be moving on to Taurus ascendant. I'm shifting the wheel here. So Taurus ascendant, we just had you up on the chart originally. So here we go. We can see the new moon in Capricorn is in your 9th house, squaring the 12th house where Rahu is in Aries, and the 6th house where Ketu is in Libra. And so this would suggest new beginnings and changes in your daily life, with Ketu releasing old ways of doing things, releasing things, letting go, with Rahu reflecting on deep issues privately in your 12th house of Aries, and finding some belief in yourself that you may have to process when you're away from the public eye. It's important here with the 12th house planets to not beat yourself up and recognize, you know, go into the shadow world, use spiritual resources, knowing yourself on that inner level, finding practices and habits that help you walk your path in life. But this new moon in the 9th house of Capricorn with Mars here, the 9th house is the house of God. It can also represent solar figures or figures and people in authority that make decisions. It can be the house of higher mind. Well, it is the house of higher mind, higher learning, new beginnings in this area of life. And because Mars is there, Mars can represent conflict, battles, and decisions made by other people in authority, but it also may energize your sense of finding truth and understanding, because this is the house of the higher mind and wanting to find knowledge. And Pluto is at the end of that area of your life for you as well. So there's going to be some big shifts and maybe a sense of renewal in your belief systems. That's going to shift. And when Pluto shifts into your 10th house of Aquarius on the 21st of January, which is quite soon, when the sun also moves in, there's going to be some really big, intense changes in your life, Taurus ascendants, stepping into your power and how you're seen in the public sphere. So I hope that's helpful for you. Now moving on to Gemini ascendant. As we can see, this new moon is in the 8th house of Capricorn, squaring Rahu in the 11th house of Aries, and also squaring Ketu in the 5th house of Libra. So there may be a sense of new beginnings in relation to opportunities that you share with others. This is the 8th house is to do with shared resources. So if you're in relationship and you share your finances, there may be new beginnings in how you do this, or there may be new opportunities for you in this area of your life. This house in ancient astrology, the 8th house, was known to be the esteemer of others. So it can be about how others view you. And there is that Mars exalted in Capricorn here, which gives you a sense of drive and purpose and practical abilities to apply your energy in this area of your life. And what have we got going on as well? There's some sort of support in your 11th house of groups and friendships in Aries, where the north node of the moon is Rahu, also with Chiron. So maybe healing some wounds there within groups and friendships, and sense of community, and a place where you belong in your public, in your sphere of life, where you have allies. It was the house of benefactors in the past. And also this can be related to your hopes and wishes, because it's the house of Jupiter's joy, the 11th house, and it can be related to benefits and rewards from your career. Pluto is also at the end of the 8th house in Capricorn, so there's likely to be some big transformational shifts in the area of shared resources, and a sense of karmic debt what you bring to the table and what others bring to the table. So let's see how that unfolds for your Gemini ascendants. I hope that's helpful. Now, moving forward to Cancerian ascendant, as we can see, we've got a very dynamic area of life where this new moon in Capricorn is. It's the 7th house of Capricorn. It's one of the angles of the chart. It's a kentron, a pivot point. And because you are a cardinal sign of the zodiac at summer solstice, Cancerian ascendant, this new moon is happening and bringing new potential and new beginnings in the area related to your close and personal relationships. We also have the Mars, the warrior planet here, keen to be practical, to plan, and to use his knowledge and mastery that you've gathered over time. And this can help you share part of your life skills with others, because the 7th house can be your audience. If this is part of your life where you have things to offer others, this can be a very new beginning for you, which can come to fruition over the next 2 weeks to the full moon in Leo in 2 weeks' time, or more long term on the 22nd of March, May 2024, summer solstice. No, wait a minute. Ignore that. Scrub that. It's the 22nd of March is when there will be a full, no, wait a minute. Sorry, I'm getting confused. It will be Cancer time, and it will be the full moon in Capricorn when the sun is in Cancer. I'm just going to pause this 1 second to double check my notes. Thank you for bearing with me. Yes, sorry about that. I was just double checking. Of course, the summer solstice is in June, not March or May. So obviously the new moon in Capricorn for you Cancer ascendants can culminate at the time around the summer solstice, which is around the 21st, 22nd of June. But the full moon is the 22nd of June, 2024 in Capricorn, when these seeds can be planted and come to fruition. So I hope that's helpful for you. And Pluto is at the end of Capricorn in your 7th house, suggesting really big transformational changes, endings and beginnings in your life, which may be so that's quite a big shift for you there. So I hope that's helpful for you. Sorry about getting a bit mixed up there. So moving on now to Leo ascendant. Before I go back, actually, I'd like to move back to Cancer and ascendant, because there was just something else that I was reading my notes slightly wrong. So the new moon for Cancerian ascendants squares Rahu in Aries in the 10th house. So there's something very much about healing wounds around showing yourself publicly. And the north node of the moon, Rahu, in that 10th house of Aries is a very public area of life, striving to be seen, using your own independence, using your own initiative, being bold. Aries is the ram, the first sign of the zodiac. So there's that square from the new moon in your 7th house of relationships or audience to that north node in the 10th house for you Cancerian ascendants, and squaring Ketu, the south node of the moon, in your 4th house. So that's likely to be letting go, releasing, surrendering when you're away in your resting place of home, away from others. So now moving on to Leo ascendants, sun or moon, if you don't know your time of birth. And I will put a link to astro.com for everybody, so you can use some free data. If you know your place, date, and time of birth, you can work out your ascendant using whole sign house system. So moving back to the Leo ascendant, sun or moon, this new moon will be happening in your 6th house of Capricorn. So the 6th house in ancient astrology was known to be the place of Mars's joy. So it is the house sometimes where there is conflict or disagreement or troubles or discord of some sort. It's the house that in ancient times, or even more recent modern times, it was a house known to be related to servants. So in these times, it's about our daily duties, our work, our routines, the mundane chores, the things that aren't really appreciated that we do on a daily level. So there's an opportunity for you, Leo ascendants, for some big changes to start now with this Capricorn new moon. A new way to create a new way of being in your daily life, which might benefit your health, because the sixth house is related to your physical and mental health. So this could be good for creating some new rituals, things that are healthy for you, new structures to work within in your daily life. And Mars is in Mars's joy. He's exalted in Capricorn. He can bring some strength and determination to this area of your life, encouraging you to apply yourself in a measured, structured way, thinking ahead to long-term plans, but just being aware that there can be some conflict going on here, some disagreement. And because Mars likes to wield his sword, because he's a warrior, you can sever some ties here. So there could be some endings in some relationships in your daily life. And Pluto's at the end of Capricorn in this sixth house, suggesting big transformational changes, endings, and new beginnings in this area of your life, which, as I was saying, could be very regenerative to your physical and mental health. And at the same time, Jupiter and Uranus are highlighting your 10th house of praxis, which is the action, what you're seen to do in the public sphere. So Jupiter's been here since May last 2023, and will be here to, I think it's the 25th of May 2024. So there's opportunities and some positivity, some opportunities that may show themselves in this area of your public sphere of life, which may be related to your career and occupation. But Uranus is also here, adding in the curved ball, because Uranus is a very unpredictable planet. So it can cause some destabilizing events that you're also seen to encounter in your public sphere of life. Moving now, I hope that's helpful, Leo ascendants. Moving now on to Virgo. So we have the new moon in Virgo in Capricorn in your 5th house of creativity. In the ancient astrology, the 5th house was known to be the house of Venus's joy. It's the house to do with pleasures. It's the house to do with recreation, fun, love, romance. It can be pregnancy if you're of that age. And it also can be related to entrepreneurial topics, your baby that you would like to bring to the world. So there's an opportunity with this new moon in Capricorn here to make plans for the future in this area of your life. Mars here in Capricorn is also adding impetus and abilities to apply yourself and make plans and forge ahead in an ambitious but structured, practical, long-term manner. And also there's also Pluto at the end of Capricorn. So there's going to be big shifts and changes. If you have children, it could be related to your children, endings, transformational endings and new beginnings here. And they will be squaring, this new moon will be squaring the north node of the moon up in the 8th house of Aries, Rahu. So there's a sense of some obstacles and things to overcome in relation to shared resources. And the south node of the moon in your 2nd house. So maybe there's a sense of letting go of feeling that you have to be responsible to carry the burdens of financial security, and that you can actually trust that if you're in relationship, partners can help support you and you can share that load. The 8th house is related to karmic debt and the esteem of others, and you have Chiron in Aries up there, trying to encourage you to heal wounds maybe that you feel others have when they're viewing you, Virgo ascendants. And we have, where's Jupiter? Jupiter is in your 9th house of Taurus alongside Uranus. So there could be some new sense of finding truth and understanding in the world, because Jupiter is in the house of the higher mind, of God. Could be related to benefits from further study. It might accentuate the sense of wanting to travel further afield. And you've also got Uranus up there causing some unpredictable shifts and changes. And you have Saturn in your 7th house of relationships, related to either a sense of long-term commitment or recognizing what's missing within your close personal relationships. So I hope that's helpful for you, Virgo ascendants. Sun or moon if you don't know your time of birth. Moving on now to Libra. This new moon Libra, for Libra ascendant, sun or moon, is happening in your 4th house. And as you are one of the cardinal signs of the zodiac, this is a very powerful area of life for you. It's one of the angles of the chart. The 4th house is very much related to your resting place, where you feel you belong, the home, the family, your roots and your ancestry. So there's a sense of new beginnings here with this Capricornian new moon in this area of your life, wanting to plant seeds of change to bring to the future for the long term in a practical, secure way, because Capricorn is very grounded and likes to be purposeful and make use. There's ambition with exalted Mars in Capricorn here, adding fuel to the fire, to your long-term plans, harnessing that energy of the warrior nature in a very practical manner, using all the skills of Mars and his fiery nature, his determination and initiative in practical Capricorn here, and also Pluto at the end of Capricorn at 29 degrees 41, tying up ends here with big shifts likely to come for you around the home front. So this could be related to a new way of being within your family. Maybe it's a time of starting a family for some of you Libra ascendants, with big shifts happening and regeneration and transformation and new beginnings. And Saturn is in your 6th house of Pisces for the next 2 years or so, maybe suggesting more responsibility in your daily work, and maybe also suggesting taking on some healthier regimes, limiting yourselves, cutting back in a way that can be helpful to your personal, physical and mental health. So I hope that's helpful for you, Libra ascendants. Moving on now to Scorpio ascendant. So Scorpio ascendant, sun or moon, this new moon in Capricorn will be happening in your 3rd house, which is the Capricorn house. The 3rd house is very much a house related to the mind, to ideas and communications and journeys and your local environment, your neighborhood, the things you do around the home, and a sense of connecting with friends. It used to be called the House of Goddess, and it was a house of friendship groups in the ancient astrological ways of interpretations. So it's a house of goddess, it's your local environment, it's around the home, things you do in your daily journeys. There's going to be new changes here, new beginnings potentially happening in this area of your life. Maybe if you use writing or the internet, it could be a way of expressing yourself along these lines. If you blog or use YouTube, or how you share your ideas. Mars in Capricorn here will add potential strengths and long-term ambition using your practical skills, and Pluto is ending things in this area of life. This area of the 3rd house for you Scorpio ascendants is also related to siblings. So if you have siblings or relationships with aunts and uncles or cousins, things like that, there's either new beginning potential here, and also there's endings with this Pluto. So endings, death, endings, purging out, rebirth, cleansing, renewal in this area of your life. And then we've got the square to the north node of the moon, Rahu, in your 6th house of Aries, and squaring Ketu in your 12th house of Libra. So there's a sense of the 6th house is the house of Mars's joy, and the 12th house is the house of Saturn's joy. So these are the malefic planets they're more challenging. There's a sense of having to work hard in your daily life with Chiron there, giving you encouragement to step into your power using your own initiative, because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, symbolized by the ram. So it's encouraging you to believe in yourself, in your everyday life, in your house of service and work to others, and a sense of privacy, release, and letting go, maybe tuning in more into your spiritual aspects, the deeper hidden parts of yourself, with the south node of the moon in your 12th house of Libra there. And there is opportunities with Jupiter in your 7th house of Taurus, where Jupiter has been since May 2023 and will be until May the 25th, 2024, stays a year in each sign of the zodiac approximately. So there is potential to create some new close personal relationships, or perhaps it represents your audience, those that you serve. Jupiter bringing some opportunities up until the 25th of May 2024. And obviously with Uranus up there in that 7th house of Taurus, there can be some unexpected curved balls, unexpected events that come within that area of friendships, close friendships, personal relationships. So I hope that's helpful for you. Scorpio ascendant, Sun or Moon. And now I'm moving over to Sagittarius ascendant, Sun or Moon. This new moon in Capricorn is happening in your 2nd house, which is related to your own personal skills, Sagittarius, your ways of making money, how you can create security, how good you are with finances, things like this. So there's an opportunity here for you to create some long-term plans for creating work. You know, if you run your own business, for example, this is a good time to use that Mars, exalted Mars in Capricorn, to harness all your wisdom, all the knowledge, all the things that you've mastered over time, and plant these seeds for new beginnings that may come to fruition around this time of the summer solstice, 22nd of June 2024, when there will be a full moon in Capricorn around the time of the summer solstice. And we have Pluto at the last minutes of Capricorn, ending the ways, bringing an ending to some of your ways of doing things around using your own resources and skills. There's endings and new beginnings, new potential, especially after the 21st of January, when Pluto ingresses into your 3rd house of Aquarius, which is related to your sense of communicating with others, sharing with others, using your power, stepping into your power in your everyday life for the next 19 years. There is difficulties likely within your home environment, because Saturn has been in your 4th house of Pisces since March 2023, and he will stay here for the next 2.5 years, and Neptune is also in there. However, you've also got benefits from Jupiter in your 6th house of Taurus. There should be some resolution if you've had any niggling health problems. Maybe you'll find a therapy that suits you, or you have tests and find out what's been going on. You know, Uranus up there can also bring unexpected, shocking events to this area of your life. So some destabilization, but at the same time can be new and exciting things going on in your daily work life too. So I hope that is helpful for you, Sagittarius ascendant, Sun or Moon. Moving on now to Capricorn ascendant, Sun or Moon, if you don't know your time of birth. So as you can see, Capricorn, you're one of the cardinal signs of the zodiac, and this new moon is happening in your 1st house, which is in ancient astrology known as the helm of the ship. It is Mercury's joy. It's the house of expressing you. It's the house about your body, your mindset, your psychology, your view on life, and how you show up and express yourself in life. So for Capricorns, there's a new seed here, new potential to plant seeds of how you want to show up and be in life. It could be that you are now ready to take on more responsibility, because Capricorns are very structured and very aware of boundaries. And Mars exalted in Capricorn also gives you that added discipline and potential to use these powerful Capricorn earthy ambitious energies in a sustaining way to think ahead for the future. And we've also got Pluto in the last minutes of Capricorn. So there's going to be a sense of what don't you need anymore in how you are with yourself and how you show up in the world. What are you going to purge, release, let go of, and allow space for the new you to show up in the world? Because Pluto at these end degrees here is giving you the potential for huge transformation, huge regeneration and rebirth. And then you'll be stepping into your power of using that Pluto energy with your skill set and abilities to use new ideas to make money in the future for your long-term security, because Pluto will be in your second house of Aquarius from the 21st of January 2024, apart from dipping back into Capricorn, tying up those ends. Any doubts that you've got about yourself and your own power and abilities, you will have to tie them up. You will no doubt just find yourself doing that anyway between September, I think it's the 2nd of September 2024 and the 19th of November, when Pluto dips back into the first house. And that's the last time he will be there in your lifetime, because Pluto takes 248 years to go around the whole zodiac. So when Pluto dips back in, you will just tie up those ends before moving into a new way of being for the next 19 years. So the new moon also is squaring the Rahu in the 4th house, another angle of the chart. So there's a sense of wanting to create something within your home environment, maybe the land, something healing wounds around family, Capricorn ascendants. And also there's something about maybe letting go in the area where you're seen publicly in your career life. Maybe it's more important for you at this time with this T-square, Rahu and Chiron, the planet of healing our wounds that we carry, around the house topics of home, family, parents, ancestry. That's more important for you. And you've got Jupiter gracing the 5th house of Venus's joy in Taurus, been there since May 2023 and will be there until the 25th of May 2024. So you've got another few months here to expand your creativity, have pleasures, romance, joy, with Uranus maybe throwing in a wee curved ball there. So expect the unexpected, expect some destabilization maybe within relationships of love, but also the potential to bring some new ideas to the fore for you there, Capricorn ascendants. I hope that's helpful. So moving on to Aquarius ascendant, this new moon Aquarius ascendant sun and moon will be happening in your 12th house, which in ancient astrology was known as the place of Saturn's joy. It's the furthest house away from the first house, so it's the house related to privacy, retreat, secrecy, going inward, facing and recognizing dreams, connecting with your higher self, the hidden self, your compassionate part of your nature. So there's a sense of new beginnings and new potential beginning in this area of your life in Capricorn in a practical way. So maybe it's a time to start some new regimes related to some healthy practices such as meditation, walking in nature, you know, maybe being on your own more, maybe would be restorative for you. And you've got Mars there. So that brings action and energy to this area of your life. There will be deep reflections going on here as Pluto ends his stay, his 20-year stay in this 12th house where he's been before. There's going to be huge shifts in your first house where Pluto will be for the next 19 years when he finally stays in there after the 19th or 20th of November. So you're processing lots of stuff. Pluto is the god of the underworld, Hades. He goes into the dark shadow self. He brings up things that have been hidden, taboo things. He heals the wounds, and within the dark earth, there's treasures to be found facing the shadow side. So for Aquarian ascendants, this is really potential for really big new beginnings before you shift into showing up in the world using a really different way of being, maybe connecting with your communities. And if you're technologically minded, you may be able to use a lot of that energy and science for expressing yourself in the future. Or it may be that you will be stepping into being within community as part of something, finding your power for the next 19 years. And also we've got Jupiter in your 4th house of home and family, ancestry, the land and roots, alongside Uranus. So there's opportunities for some growth and expansion and benefits within home and family, whether that's finding some sense of security, maybe a home that feels stable, but with Uranus there, you know, maybe you can't rely on that. There's a mix there. And we've also got the lunar nodes being squared in your 9th house, Ketu, maybe letting go of a belief system that you found helpful in the past, maybe surrendering that and just letting it go and wanting to actually find your own sense of power within the house of God, where, excuse me, the north node of the moon in Aries is in the 3rd house with Chiron. So potentially healing some wounds within sibling relationships, aunts and uncles, or friendship groups, people that you would treat as your family, with Rahu wanting to be successful in this area. So that's the square, the T-square happening between the 12th house, 9th house of God, and 3rd house of Goddess. So I hope that's helpful for you, Aquarius ascendants. And finally, moving to Pisces ascendant. Thank you so much for waiting, Pisces. Being the last sign of the astrological year, you have to wait right till the end, but hopefully this will be helpful for you too. So the new moon in Capricorn is happening in your 11th house. So this 11th house in ancient times was known to be the house of Jupiter's joy. It's about hopes and wishes and dreams. And it's also the house related to your friendship groups, community, those that support you, that are your allies, that really want you to do well in life, that help benefit you and help you fulfill your career path and support you in those ways, because this is the 2nd house from the 10th house of career. So there's potential here, Pisces ascendant, for you to either make new friendships that are really going to support you in the future, remembering that the full moon in Capricorn is the 22nd of June 2024. So it may take this time to culminate these friendships and for them to come to fruition. Also, you've got exalted Mars here in Capricorn, the warrior planet, the planet that is passionate and has drive and ambition and wants to assert himself, using his energies of practical Capricorn, groundedness, practicality, structure, routines. So maybe you'll join some group, a new group that will be beneficial to you, where you can make new friendships. And at the same time, Pluto at the last few minutes of Capricorn, 29 degrees, 41 minutes, there's going to be definite endings and letting go of certain friendship groups as well. Those that you maybe feel like you've grown away from, or that you no longer resonate with, that no longer serve the purpose of sharing time with, there's going to be endings and releasings. Maybe there's been some power struggles there, because Pluto can be about control as well. So with endings, death, release, and renewal, there's space for rebirth and new beginnings to happen. And Pluto will be moving into your 12th house of Aquarius for the next 19 years, staying there after the 20th of November, dipping his toe back into this 11th house of Capricorn between the 2nd of September and the 19th of November, tying up ends in these friendship groups for you, but then going into a more powerful, peaceful, retreative place. It might be that you find that you want to express your energies because you're no doubt a very compassionate sign of the zodiac, because Pisces is symbolized by the fish. It's very aware of the collective, and the 12th house can be a very compassionate area of life. It might be that you want to express yourself and help others who are more in need, because the 12th house can be places of retreat representing institutions such as hospitals, hospices, drug rehab places. It might be that you find your power there, or it might be that you just become a lot more appreciative of finding your power in places that are private and where you're away from the public eye over the next 19 years. And let's have a look at the squarings of the nodes. So there is a square to the north node of the moon in Aries with Chiron there. This is the house of your personal skills, and your abilities and your finances, and how you can make finances and use your own skill set. So there's a sense of overcoming some challenges here, believing in yourself, recognizing that you are able to do things on your own terms, represented by the Aries ram, and also maybe letting go with Ketu, the south node of the moon in Libra, in the house of shared resources. So maybe relying less on others who may support you in a sense of karmic debt with what you bring to the table and what they bring to the table, shared resources. Letting go of fears, anxieties, because that's the 8th house of Libra, and stepping more into your power and your self-belief and your abilities and skills to create finances and security for the future. So that would be for Pisces ascendant. So I hope that's helpful for you. So that's the end of my new moon in Capricorn sharing for you. Again, if you've not subscribed to my channel and you like my offerings, I really would appreciate you subscribing and liking, and put your comments below if any of this resonates with you. And I hope you found it helpful. So again, if anybody is interested in contacting me for a personal reading, please contact me through my website, and I would need your name, place and date of birth, and crucially time of birth for the ascendant, to know where all the planetary placements are within your chart. Then you can see what's being activated by all these planetary placements, the new moons, the full moons, the solar eclipses, the shifts of Pluto into Aquarius. Where is that house for you? So I'm really passionate about sharing my knowledge, and I hope to develop more skills with more readings, with more clients over the next rest of my life, really. But as I become more wise in sharing my skills, I hope that you can, some of you, join me if this resonates with you. So happy new moon in Capricorn tomorrow, sending love, light and blessings to all beings, and thank you very much for listening.